Hello one and all, welcome back to my goals video. Now we're going to be doing 2021, and 2020, as we know, was the killer of all goals. And let's find out which goals I did achieve despite 2020 being 2020. So first off, last year I wanted to get the novella Stone Skin done, which at that time I thought was going to be a single authorship with another author, but it turned out to be a co-authorship between him and myself. And that was Stone Skin, which was the prequel novella to the Sky Pirate Chronicles as it turned into in 2020. Really, that turned into a trilogy in 2019, but same difference. And then I came out with the first novel in the Sky Pirate Chronicles titled By Sea and Sky that came out June of last year. It did pretty well. I think it was successful for what I was trying to do. I was trying to achieve at least 50 reviews on Amazon. I got those. I got a lot of sales. I just did a deal on my audiobook that got like 300 sales in the first day. So like, pretty excited for Sky Pirate Chronicles and the future that it holds. However, this is where things happen where my goals were not achieved. So I was supposed to do a short novella called Glass of Dulagi, which was supposed to be done by originally an author named Stephen Underwood, and then Callan Brown, my editor, also you might know him from Finalysis, came in to also co-write that. And now it's supposed to be coming out this year. I'll talk about that later when I talk about my 2021 goals, but it didn't come out last year. Then after that, it was supposed to be book 2 of the Sky Pirate Chronicles of Ruin and Silk, which did not come out. It is coming out though. It's coming out in March of this year, but again, 2021, we'll talk about that. And then Grace Under Fire is the prequel to the third book in the Sky Pirate Chronicles. That didn't come out, and the third book obviously didn't come out if the second book didn't come out in 2020. And then of course, I was supposed to come out with God's Glass, previously titled The Esterlands, which was supposed to be the compilation of all those novellas and short stories, Stone Skin, Glass of Dulagi, and Grace Under Fire. Obviously, that can't come out. That collection can't come out without the actual products coming out. So, of course, that didn't come out. But all of those, hopefully, will be done by this year. But again, we'll talk about that later. And then we have my young adult novel called The Gatekeeper Staff, T.J. Young and the Orishas, book 1. I wanted that to come out September of last year. I didn't quite get to that goal, but I am going to shift it to be next year. So that goal was not achieved. But back to things that were achieved. So Will of the Mischief Maker is the prequel to T.J. Young and the Orishas. I didn't even think I was going to be doing that, and I actually came out with that recently, like I think 2 months ago in November. So that's out. If you actually want to hear the entire audiobook, I have it free on my YouTube channel right now, which should be linked somewhere above my head. Also, something that I didn't think I was going to be doing was publishing children's books. And I published 4 books that were designed for children. Now, none of these were actually written by me. They were just produced by me and my imprint Bandele books. I did first Knucklehead Fred, the first 3 books in that series, written by Arius Williams. And then I did another one called Manners from the Moon by Simeon A. Shig, and that came out as well. And I will say that I don't know if I'm the happiest of being a publisher all the time. I think I should have focused mostly just on my books. I love doing it though. I'm not saying that I'm taking away from the projects. I do like the projects, but I could tell that being a publisher is hard, like actually managing, multiple authors and, trying to do everything for them, especially when you're your own indie author and that's already a full-time thing on its own. So yeah, I thought at first like, oh, it's okay, I could be publisher for other people, but now I'm like, oh, I'm going to be a lot more selective with the type of projects I take on in the future. But yes, I got 4 children's books out, so that's cool. And the biggest blow that I wanted to do last year was go to LA Comic Con and start selling my books. It's the reason why I made the comic book to my debut novel, The Kishi. Had a whole comic book ready to go. And LA Comic Con, I had my booth like ready and set up to go. And then of course, the pandemic hit and everything got canceled. And so I didn't do that. Now I'm hoping like even this year is kind of up in flux if, LA Comic Con is going to be coming back. I think it will. Hopefully it will. And that will be my goal at the end of this year. And now I have way more products to do it because now I have these children's books catalogs to put out to everyone, and then I have my own novels. I have my young adult novels and my adult novels, and I have my comic book. So I'll have more. So I guess the silver lining is that I'll have more products for people at these conventions instead of just being there being like, here's my 2 books, please buy them. Also last year, as I mentioned, I work for the Tiff and Case channel. I do editing for the vlogs that they have. I achieved my goal in being able to not get fired or just being able to do all their edits last year, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I did over 40 or 50 videos on their channel, something like that. I can't remember exactly what the number is, but I remember it was like a lot when I was looking back at my archive of what I did for them in the last year. Did quite a bit. I also used to work for Just Kidding News. I left that, so now I'm exclusively working for Tiff and Case in terms of my freelance YouTube editing type stuff. And that was mostly because some personal stuff that was going on that channel, but also I was just taking on way too much. I couldn't handle the workload of publishing these other authors, publishing my own books, doing my own YouTube channel, working for Tiff and Case. Something had to give, something had to go, and Just Kidding News went. Also, a new addition to add on to that pile of everything else I was doing, and part of the reason why I left Just Kidding News, is that I started an audiobook production company. And I have done, how many books did I do last year? I don't know, but you're seeing it on screen now, all the books that I've done. And it was quite a bit, and it's actually doing like relatively well. I mean, if I was doing this as a full-time thing, it wouldn't, sustain me, but it's a nice little side hustle I got going on. And it's really easy because, as you guys know, I edit my own videos, or most of my videos, and I can, translate that to my audiobooks, because really it's just audio editing, and I've been doing this since I got out of high school. And so I was like, might as well do it. And then I know other authors, need audiobooks, and I was trying to get them audiobooks, a little bit cheaper than what the industry standard is, which could be upwards of like, $200, $300 per finished hour. There's a whole audiobook thing for that, but I wanted to put out affordable books. Oh, by the way, if you are one of the authors who lurk on this channel, if you need audiobooks done, I do them. Oh, and with regards to my own YouTube channel, 2020 was actually my best year on YouTube ever. And I mean ever. Like, my highlight was 2015, when the whole Star Wars craze was like coming up again. And I never thought I would achieve like those kinds of numbers again. But oh, look, Avatar came back to Netflix and it just blew up my channel again. So yeah, best year ever in my own personal YouTube. All right, so let's move on to my 2021 goals and see how many of these I will fail as well. So the first one is the Knucklehead Fred Collection 1. It is going to be the first 3 books compiled into like one collection that's coming out in February. Hopefully, not hopefully, I'm pretty sure that's it. All the books are already done. I just have to format it and send it out to all the distributors. So that's going to be the first thing. Also, that same author said he wants to do a comic book series based on some West African mythology. We haven't really talked about that yet, or like how that's really going to work out, but it's something that he wants to do, so that might happen this year. Also, the other children's author says he wants to do book 2 and 3 for his Manners from the Moon series. So again, that hasn't really been fleshed out yet. I don't know how that's going to look, but that's probably coming out this year as well. And then, of course, as I mentioned before, Glass of Dulagi is going to be coming out in March alongside Of Ruin and Silk, which is book 2 of the Sky Pirate Chronicles. That one is currently still being written. And you know what? I'm going to say this because, Caroline, I say this to you to your face. You are a slow writer. And everybody knows this, or I know this, you know this, everybody who knows us knows this. You are an incredibly slow writer. Like, even to just do a novella, that's the reason that one has taken so long. It should have been done months ago, really like a year ago. And then we have Of Ruin and Silk, which is Sky Pirate Book 2, which is done. Literally just yesterday, I was recording with my narrator. We were doing the first few chapters of the book, and that will be done in March. It's almost completely, it's done in terms of like, the writing. Some of the editing is happening on the back end of it, but yeah, we are starting the audiobook on that now, like next weekend, or the previous weekend we started, and the next weekend we're going to continue and finish it off. And then after that, we're going to have the Gatekeeper Staff, which is going to be the first book in my young adult novel fantasy series. And I, again, as I said last year, I am super stoked about it. It is such a good series, and it has evolved quite a bit for the better. I think it's really honed my skill as a storyteller, I think, because it's really well structured and very intentional. Sometimes when I write, I can sometimes write in the dark and just be like, oh, let me just hopefully find the scene or find the character. But this one was like a very deliberate effort, and I'm super, super stoked for you guys to read that one in particular. And then after that one, we're gonna have a short story called When the Wind Speaks, and that's very similar to what I did with the Will of the Mischief Maker, being a prequel to the first book of the TJ Young series, which is the young adult series. Afterwards, like right after the person reads book 1, they can read a short story that takes place right in between books 1 and 2, and that one's called When the Wind Speaks, which is more based on one of the wind orishas, which is like the orisha of the storms and lightning and stuff like that. It's a really dope one. That one is still being outlined and still being figured out. Me and my editor, had a really good session about what that series should be, what that story should be, because I want even the short stories to have a high impact, not just to be like here's like another story for you. I really want to like be intentional with it, so looking forward to that as well. Then after that, we should be able to get Grace Under Fire, which is actually written. It's actually done. So Matthew Chapman got all of his edits done. He's just polishing at this point. We haven't really sent it out to beta readers quite yet. That one's going to go out right before the third book of the Sky Pirate Chronicles, which is being titled For Code and Honor, and that should be out at the end of this year. So the whole Sky Pirate Chronicles trilogy will be finally done in 2021. And then after that, we're going to move on to new stuff. Of course, I'm going to do the Gauze Glass compilation. That means that's going to compile all the novellas together. But then after that, we're going to move on to new stories in the SO1 world. So I'm finally going to be done with Pirates and Sky Pirates. They're fun. It's great, but I've been writing the story for like 2-3 years. I'm quite over it. I want to be done with it and move on. And the next one I'm going to move on to is a novella called Wandering Shell, which is a prequel to Midnight's Embrace. Now first, Wandering Shell. That one is basically about a tavern full of non-human characters. So in my world, I have things like Paka, who are like these cat people. I have the Aziza, who are like these fairy-like people. And some other new ones too. There's the Kadal, which is like the lizard folk, and there's a bunch. There's merfolk. There's a lot of people. So basically, this tavern is set very similar to what we see in America, where we have like, you know, like Little Tokyo, or you might have like Little Ethiopia, or you have like little slices like Little Italy. It's like that, but it's for the non-human characters, and it's about this tavern. And what they do in it, and how they discover this love potion, which is what leads into Midnight's Embrace, which is actually the name of the love potion and also the name of the novel itself. It is a standalone novel that's going to take place in the Lost Tales from SO1 series, in which it's basically what I've been equating it to is like Hustlers. If you guys saw the J-Lo Hustlers movie that came out in 2019, it's basically like that, but with fairies and love potions. So instead of them using, you know, the drugs that they were using to, like, you know, swindle the men who came to the strip club, they're using love potions instead. So it's very much an adult fantasy novel, but with love potions. So it's pretty awesome. I can't wait to actually write that. I'm writing that in collaboration with, okay, I know her real name, but I don't know if she wants me to say her real name because she has an author pen name. I forget what her author pen name is, but I'm writing it with another female author, and that's going to be awesome, hopefully. So moving on to my own YouTube channel. So as you guys know, I have been pretty much Avatar focused for like the past 2 years. I'm going to officially state it right now. I am done with Star Wars. I actually made that proclamation on social media like not too long ago that, like, you know what, I tried watching The Mandalorian, and it's fun. And I think for me, to continue enjoying Star Wars, I have to downgrade myself to a casual fan and not like think about everything so intensely and caring about it so much. Because, like, for instance, I really love Marvel stuff. I watch it once and then I'm done though. I'm not like one of those fanatics who, like, you know, watch everything, know every little Easter egg, every little, you know, side quest that happens. But I love it though. You know, I can go to the movies, watch it once, forget about it, and just enjoy it in the moment. And I think I need to do that for Star Wars. I think I need to just like go into it, just enjoy it, be like, oh, this is fun, and then back out of it and not like interact with it anymore. And that would, to me, I think is the only way to save me from like completely hating Star Wars. So yes, I'm downgrading myself to a casual fan, which means that on my YouTube channel, there's pretty much not going to be any more new Star Wars material. Maybe some gameplay stuff with like Fallen Order. If they do a sequel for that, I would like to do that. Maybe like intermittent stuff here and there, but largely it's going to be gone from the channel. And I'm going to be replacing it with Avatar, which Avatar has already replaced Star Wars in a big way on the channel. Anyway, you guys know that. Some of you think that this is an Avatar channel when it's not. But it's gone. My channel has gone through evolutions. I used to do short films, and then I did music videos, and then I started doing short films again. Really sketches. I did sketches, and then I was doing the Star Wars stuff, and then the Avatar stuff, and the Harry Potter stuff, and then, you know, all the geek stuff. And then it was like Star Wars dominant because, you know, 2015 Star Wars, and then, you know, Avatar dominant because Netflix and all that kind of stuff. But in saying that, I am going to be integrating some new franchises into the channel this year. You guys already can see that I was trying to get some Full Metal Alchemist into the channel. I am still doing that this year. I'm going to continue inserting more Full Metal Alchemist. I'm also going to try and see if I can get Mass Effect to kind of replace that Star Wars itch for me in terms of this channel. So when Mass Effect comes back out sometime in this spring, it should be back on the channel in a big way. I'm already actually replaying Mass Effect Andromeda now, which is actually not as bad as I recall because of all the hype that was around it. Since there's no hype on it, it's really good. And that's it. That's pretty much all the updates for me in 2021, and also what I didn't achieve in 2020. But 2020, let's forget about that year, shall we? Let me know what you guys think about my schedule, or what things you're looking forward to most on this channel or in my publishing world, or whatever you know me as, or anything. Like, what are you most stoked for? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, you can watch more videos here on the side of my face, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, love, and remember, be water, my friends. May the force be with you, although I probably should get rid of that. All is one, one is all. This is my favorite YouTube channel on the Citadel, and Mischief Managed. Peace.